The solution isn't one size fits all. That's the key. The key isn't, here's how you solve anxiety, here's how you solve depression. Depression, in my mind, unless it's clinical, doesn't exist. The majority of what we're experiencing with depression isn't a real thing. What it is you are wired like me to be reward seeking, to be a warrior, and you're sitting there at some 9-to-5 job, not getting the reward, right? Yeah. That's depression.
Yeah.
Because the satisfaction that everybody else gets from that, you don't get. How is that going to, what's good, 5 years into that, what are you going to feel, right? So same thing with anxiety. We see anxiety as multiple things. There's a burdensome anxiety, which is more acute, like crash, I can't get out of bed. There's a chronic, every day, I'm always anxious. And then there's this more high functioning anxiety. So take my reward seeking profile and add serotonin dysregulation to it, which means not only am I reward seeking, but I see every little detail and I understand and catch every little thing and everything bugs me and there's this fire in my gut. That creates this high functioning anxiety. And you see a lot of entrepreneurs that are, picture Devil Wears Prada. You know, that boss, the magazine lady, whatever, if her name was. You know, I think she's supposed to be Anna Wintour, right? This like crazy woman that everyone's scared of.
Yeah.
That's that high functioning anxiety. Okay. She cannot find anyone that can operate at her level, so she's never satisfied. She's always disappointed, right? Because the way she sees the world, the level of detail, the nuances in every little agreement, every little piece of work, and then what gets delivered back to her never matches. And it creates this high functioning, like everything sucks, no one's good enough, I have to do it myself, right? The reality is you need to tone it down to 8 out of 10 because that's where the world actually is. You have the superpower that people don't see the world that way, right? Yeah. So understanding who you are, personalizing it, there's no one size fits all, and then all of a sudden you thrive.
Got it.
Right?
So for somebody who, say, works a 9-to-5 job,
yeah,
and they are depressed, are those typically the people who turn to addictions of whatever sort to get that pleasure because they're not getting the reward?
Exactly. So your satisfaction is the key, right? So both pleasure and reward are what gets you there. And you can choose either path because you don't need both. And this is where we often coach people that if you're stuck in this pleasure-seeking mode, or if you feel like you don't have enough pleasure, which could cause depression, anxiety, and various other problems, let's try building some reward. How do you do that? Your brain doesn't care if it's a 10 out of 10 reward or a 2 out of 10 reward. Just getting over the threshold of accomplishing gives you that dopamine hit, right? And it's a very healthy path to go down. When you go golfing, why is it so addictive? Because every time you hit the ball, you feel a little bit better, and a little bit better, and a little bit better. And there's that sense of reward.
If you're good.
Yeah, if you're
If you're not good, then
it's horrible. Then it falls apart. Same thing with training, going in the gym, getting those, like anything you can do to create some structure, even as simple as I read 2 pages today, tomorrow I'm going to read 2.5. Just that one sense of reward I accomplished can replace pleasure, right? And all of a sudden, removing my addiction is difficult if I don't replace it with fulfillment and satisfaction. So get the satisfaction from reward. We teach this to people and it works. So it's a quick hack to get yourself out of that addictive tendency because you need the dopamine hit from somewhere.
Yeah. So what I notice working with guys in this similar situation is that they understand that the addiction and the pleasure seeking is a problem, and when they try to adopt these healthy habits, they get down on themselves because they're not doing everything all at once, and they focus on what they're not yet doing as opposed to the progress that they've already made and taking these small steps.
Yep.
So what is your recommendation for someone like this?
So someone that has this reward seeking behavior needs a lot more structure because they will burn themselves out. Right? They remember, whatever is good enough is not good enough for them.
Yeah.
And if you tell them, here's the 10 things we're going to do over 10 weeks, they're going to try and do it in 2 weeks because that makes it feel more rewarding. Right? So they need to know that the actual success is getting one thing done. It's not getting if you got everything done, you actually failed. Right? Because you're not actually going to learn the habit. It's not going to be permanent. So let's fix one thing, make it permanent, then stack the next, and the stacking becomes the reward as opposed to the here's my list. I'm going to run through the list because I'm better than everybody, right? Yeah. They need to learn what the reward. So as long as they're getting that hit, they're going to feel good. You have to reframe, what the value of the hit is. The value is 10 weeks is the timeline, and if you're shorter, you failed, right?
Okay, that makes so much sense. And you said that the brain can't differentiate between level 10 reward and level 2 reward.
Yeah,
So it's just like any
yeah.
small progression.
With pleasure, there's sensation of intensity,
Yeah.
right? Food is good. That food is really good, right? And you definitely can feel the difference. When it comes to reward, that nuance isn't so much there. I'm not saying it's not there, but it's not as obvious consciously to the person as it is in pleasure, right? So any sense of accomplishment gets you there. It gets you over that hump of this reward. Now I need the next one. Now I need the next one. Now I need the next one.
Yeah. So would that explain like Olympic gold medalists, for example, who win the gold medal and then they're still not satisfied? Like they're like, okay,
Where's
what's
the next hit?
Yeah.
Where's the next hit, right? Yeah, and that's why you see so many hyper successful people that are suicidal. Anthony Bourdain, why did he kill himself? He's at the top of his game, right? What is there to be worried about? Or that the gentleman that worked with Ellen that killed himself recently. I think the musical, the head of the band or whatever that was. I don't know his name. Sorry.
I'm not familiar.
Okay, so Ellen DeGeneres talk show.
Yeah.
The guy that did the music on the show.
Okay.
Her show got canceled. He killed himself.
Wow.
Right? People are saying the two aren't related, but when you're at this level of reward and you take it away and you crash, what's my next gig? And you didn't get that next gig perhaps. And the way you feel when you have this, what got him in the first place? What got him to the point where he got that Ellen gig? He had to fight for that.
Yeah.
Right? So that's the person. This is why you see so many high performance people that when they're done with the reward, they're done with the achievement, they're done with whatever, depression is the next step.